Finish up and then beat it. This
This
is
is my
my mart.
mart. You ain't
You ain't
hustling. No.
hustling no coin at my mart.
Bonsai, I'm the Cobra Kai kid, and today I am joined by Susan Gallagher. You guys may recognize her from Cobra Kai as Homeless Lynn. And today we're going to be talking about a little Cobra Kai, but also some of her other projects she's been in. So, Susan, how are you doing today?
I'm great, Drew. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Good to be
It's
here.
it's good to see you too. And you're not alone today. I see you have a little friend. Who is this?
This is Misha. He's a mini poodle, and I inherited him on June 9th. My longtime acting teacher and mentor, Zena Jasper in New York, passed away on June 8th, and I was with her. She didn't have any children, so some of us students were like her children, and she wanted me to have Misha. He's 11, and he had never been outside of the Upper West Side of New York City. But now he has been to Florida, been to Atlanta, North Carolina. He gets around, and he's doing really well. I mean, we're still grieving, but he's a sweetie, and I've got a really, really sweet rescue labradoodle named Lily, who is very gentle and yeah, but he has a little separation anxiety with me, so he's going to hang
Mm,
out.
yeah. Well, at least he has a great home now, I'm sure.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, and I've known him so long, and he loves me, and I love him, so he's good. He's good. But thank you for asking.
yeah, of course, of course. And I do want to wish you a happy holidays because the holidays were just around the corner. You've been in some holiday films, which we'll talk about. So, how were your holidays? What did you do?
Happy holidays to you too, and everybody out
Thank you.
there. My holidays were great. I usually cook during the holidays for the family, and my kids were here. My grandsons was here, so it was very busy, very very busy because he's one and he's a busy boy
Oh,
just like his dad was. But it's all good. But we actually celebrated on Christmas Eve, so come Christmas Day, the house was empty and was quiet, and I got some rest because I don't know, I've got a little. I don't know if it's allergies or what. I got a little something going on in my throat, so
mm,
it's been nice just to chill and kind of just enjoy the decorations in my house and the looking at all the pictures we took and I just love the holidays, even though it's hard for some of us too because you miss people that are no longer here, so you can get emotional very quickly, but it's all good, and it's just such a blessing to be alive, right?
yeah, definitely, definitely. And along with the holidays, we have the new year. So I'm curious for you, like going into 2024, what do you hope for yourself? Do you have any goals, any resolutions?
um I do, and happy New Year, everybody. I hope it's a safe and healthy and prosperous and fabulous New Year for us all. I've got some momentum going, and like you said, I've got some projects out right now, and I've got a big project that my production company, Her Little Red Productions, is in pre-production, and collaborating with my friend of over 30 years, Cullen Douglas, who's a well-known actor out in LA. I'm originally from Florida, but yeah, we've worked together in the past, and we've got something we think really special, and we've already got it cast and got some of the money, and yeah, so that's going to be exciting. And then I've got some other things going on in the new year too. So, but right now we've got stuff airing. We've got Mary Goodenough. Should we just hop right into that?
Yeah, let's talk about it all. First off, congratulations.
Thank
Um,
you.
of course, that just came out recently on December 19th, which is also Karate Kid Day for some people out there. That was the date that the All Valley tournament from 1984 happened.
I
So
didn't
maybe
know. That's fantastic. I didn't know that, Drew.
yeah, I mean, some people call it Karate Kid Day just because that was the date. So hey, maybe they were like the producers were like, "Hey, like we should release it on Karate Kid Day because of Susan,"
Oh,
you
yeah, of
know?
course, right.
Yeah, definitely. So, for those out there who've seen you on Cobra Kai, they know you as Homeless Lynn,
Yeah.
and you've done other films, which we're going to talk about, and all these roles are extremely different. And it's just so impressive how you can play such a range of characters.
Oh, thank
Um,
you.
of course. So yeah, with Marry Good Enough, it's a holiday movie. Can you tell everyone a little bit about like what it's about and like who your character is in it?
Yes, Mary Good Enough is a feature film, an indie film, so we didn't have this big budget. So it was a labor of love, and everybody that was there, from the cast to the crew, was there because they love the writing. They love this story about a typical family, with some dysfunction and sibling issues and mother-daughter issues, and somewhat neurotic. So it's a heartfelt comedy. It's a dark comedy with a lot of heart, but it is funny. It's hilarious. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you cry. And the star of Mary Good Enough, who plays my daughter, is Ray Levine Spielberg, and her love interest in the movie is Sawyer Spielberg, who is Steven's son. So this is their debut together as a real life married couple, and they're playing, opposite each other, and he's her love interest, and they're just adorable and crazy talented. And I play the mom, and the story is sort of a reverse Home Alone because the mom comes up missing right before
Mm.
Christmas, and um, they're trying to find what happened to her and where is she, and you got to go on this wild ride. And Joel Murray from Mad Men plays my ex-husband, who is, he's phenomenal and hilarious. And Clinton, let's see, Comfort Clinton, she's one of my daughters. She's from Billions. And then Daniel Damaris, who is well known on the stage, plays my other son. And then we've even got other people that you would recognize in the cast, and Margaret Curry and all kind of people from New York and LA. And it's just a fantastic family ensemble that goes on this ride with this family. And what we're saying is, if you love Christmas, then you will love this movie. But if you hate Christmas, you will love this movie. It's Merry Good Enough, right? So it's not a Hallmark movie, even though I love Hallmark movies. It doesn't have the pretty pink bow on top, and there's some rawness and some realness, and I'm really proud to be part of it. Female writer, so it's quite, and we're rising in the charts, and it's doing well. It's on VOD, on Amazon, on Apple, Comcast. I mean, the whole list of things. You can follow me on my social media. I am Susan Gallagher on Instagram, or Susan Gallagher on Facebook, to find out more information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing how, like, with today's day and age with streaming, how, even though it comes out on one platform, it's really, like, on, like, Apple, Amazon, Vudu, like, all these things, and
Yes.
I'm hearing about
Oh,
things I've never even heard of. You could find it anywhere. It's
yeah.
crazy.
So you saw it, right, Drew?
Yes, yes. I
And what
saw
did
it,
you
and
what do you think?
I really enjoyed it, and, of course, I enjoyed your performance. I mean, it was a very deep film, and seeing like the relationships between mother and daughter,
Mhm.
like, and seeing like a portrayal of it that maybe isn't like the best of relationships. It hits harder. And I wanted to ask you too, because you are a mother in real life, like, was that challenging to play that role? And like, because you guys are kind of like, it's like you and your actress daughter kind of going at each other a bit. Without giving anything away, I want to ask you
Right.
that.
Well, Caroline Keene and Dan Kennedy, the co-directors, they had me Zoom with Ray, who plays my daughter Lucy. Um, we shot this thing last December, so last November, and we immediately had a fantastic chemistry and rapport. It was very natural. It was very easy. And like you said, I mean, I am a mother. I actually love motherhood more than anything I've ever done in my life. So, and I have a daughter and a son, and I'm very close with both of my kids, knock on wood. But I don't care how good a relationship you have. You're always going to have a little bit of, I don't know. I think most parents want their kids to like them just a little bit more. And
Yeah.
sometimes we just feel like we can't do anything right, because we love you guys more than anything else on this earth. And so I think and growing up is not easy. So I think sometimes that we take out our frustrations or our struggles in life out on those who love us most, who is usually your mother and your parents. Um, my relationship with my own mother was very helpful for this role too, because we had a lot of struggles, and I grew up in a very dysfunctional family. A lot of love, and, my parents did the best that they could with what they had. So I don't blame my parents anymore. I'm way past all of that. I'm grateful for the good times and the lessons that I learned. But, I just could slip right into that woman because of some of the history from my past. And I loved Carol, and I still do love Carol Raleigh, and I hope that everybody will meet the Raleigh family, and I think you'll all fall in love with this family and with my character. She really just loves her children, but she struggles. She's not perfect, and her refrigerator is so full you can't put one more thing in it, but it's full of love and it's full of food for all these kids. She didn't make sure she didn't run out of anything, but she's a little bit, flaking a little bit out there, and not the perfect idea of a mom that some of the kids would want her to be. We
Yeah.
want our parents and our mothers to be, this way. And, it just doesn't happen much like that.
Yeah. I really like how you put that. And I do want to bring up, because you mentioned before when you were like talking about the premise of the movie, you said it was the opposite of Home Alone in a way.
In a way,
Was that
yeah.
who? I'm curious. Like, who was that the pitch to you? Like, how did that?
I think it kind of came organically because we've had probably about 20 screenings around the country. And I think Caroline King, the writer, was interviewed, and somehow it came up that this is kind of like Home Alone. But,
Mhm.
you wake up and the mom's gone,
Mom's
right?
gone.
And yeah, because that's a very funny movie. Those movies are really funny, but they're also full of heart and love and family dynamics. And there's a lot of multi-dimensional characters, and it just makes for a really interesting Christmas movie, or movie at all. And it's about family and it's real. So um yeah, everybody that has seen it has just really loved it, and I'm grateful for the reviews that I've gotten and that other members of the cast have gotten. It's just been, it just makes you glad that you're doing this, because it can be a very hard business with not very much, validation and affirmation and that kind of thing. So it sure is nice to hear nice reviews about your work, and about the projects that you're a part of, because it's not a big budget film, and nobody's getting rich off of this thing, but it was a labor of love. And I'll be honest with you, that last day of filming, and I remember standing outside, and she's a frumpy kind of gal, so I've got on frumpy clothes, and I have on no makeup. Once again, Susan looks like crap on camera, right? I don't care, totally don't care. You know, um, and it's snowing, and somebody snapped a picture of me. I'm still in character, and I'm holding this script. And I remember thinking, "Oh, I just don't wanna put this character away. I don't wanna pack her
Mm.
away. I don't wanna pack away this script because I loved it that much, and you know, I'm grateful for all the work that I've done, but not every project you feel that way about. So when you do feel that kind of fellowship and family connection with the cast and the crew, and you love the writing and the character, it stays with you. It's like, you know, I'm going to remember that the rest of my life.
That's beautiful.
Mhm.
And because it is a smaller budget film, do you feel like that's why maybe like the cast and the crew like were more like close, like maybe like the less people there were on set made it easier to kind of develop that family in a way?
I think so. Like for me, I get this random email back at last November, and from this guy named Dan Kennedy, and he said, "Susan, you probably don't remember who I am, but I met you at a callback at Ripley Greer Studios in New York City in 2017." He said, "You read for a movie of mine, and we went with a more character looking actress, which was a mistake, but we never got your performance." And I'm thinking,
Wow.
what? He said, "I don't even know if this is your email, but I'm working on another project that I think you might really like a role that I have you in mind for. If you'd like to see the script." And I'm like, yes, send me the script. You know, this is maybe meant to be. Fell in love with the script. And I'm like, I am all in. And, you know, you hear about these kinds of stories in the business. That's the first time I've ever had a story like that. And I'm just glad that he still had my email and I still had the same email address, right?
Yeah.
And it was just fantastic. And then Joel Murray, well, the writer Caroline King, so Dan Kennedy got me, and then Caroline King had known Comfort Clinton since like 2010, and she had written this story years ago, I think when she was in grad school or something, and Comfort always loved it. And so she Comfort came on board. She's also a producer, and then got the script to Joel Murray, who loved it. So they flew in from LA, and you know, and then Ray and Sawyer Spielberg had been in a short film of Dan Kennedy's last year that premiered at Tribeca. So they were big buddies. And it was just like everybody loved this story. So I think it does start with the writing. And Caroline Keene and Dan Kennedy are both, they have similar energy, very chill, but very focused, very kind of soft spoken. And so it starts at the top and it kind of trickles down through the cast and the crew. And we loved the writing, and we loved Dan and Caroline. So we loved each other.
That's beautiful.
Isn't
Wow.
that great?
Yeah, it's like kind of like all the pieces start to form. It's like assembling the team, you know? This person
Yes.
gets brought
Oh,
on,
this
this person
team.
gets brought
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. It's like, okay, when are we doing Mary Good Enough 2? You know, what's going
Yeah.
on with this family and all these crazy people? And they just needed a dog. Maybe we'll have Misha.
Aw. Does Misha have any thoughts about being an actor, sorry.
Listen, this dog is so dramatic because his mother, who Zena Jasper, was a famous acting teacher in New York for 40 years. So she was very dramatic and very theatrical. And he is a drama king, totally.
Mm, wow.
And I wouldn't want him
What
any other way.
yeah, you gotta get him a cameo in in one of the
There you
projects.
go. Get him a cameo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what would you say the biggest thing, Xena, your acting teacher, has taught you that like you've taken with you into Mary Good Enough, Cobra Kai, and all of these projects that you've done?
Yeah, she was fearless and instilled so much confidence in me that I was lacking, and just taught me to be open, you know, to have an open heart, and to not come, you know, closed off, because, you know, I had taken acting classes for over 30 years, and worked with some wonderful teachers and wonderful directors and actors too. But you know, for a long time I just sort of held back a little bit. And it was that, just being afraid of being completely vulnerable and being completely open to new lessons, to new opportunities, to new people, to new jobs, new roles. and just being more open and trusting myself. And, um, she was not only a wonderful acting teacher, but she was just such a great mentor to me personally.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's great. That's great. And I'm sorry for your loss. She sounds like she was amazing.
You know what though? And it took me a long time to be able to talk about her without crying. So, I mean, I'm in a good place right now. But I mean, as soon as her feet, she was 83 years old when she died in June. As soon as her feet hit the floor, she was on her elliptical for 30 minutes every day. She ate holistic, she wore organic, and everything was holistic and organic in her life. And she actually rescued over 200 dogs in New York City in her lifetime. She's known
Wow.
as the dog whisperer and finding home. She's the woman, because she never had any children. She wasn't able to. So that's why she was a wonderful teacher. And she was the woman that, on Christmas Eve, she'd be walking, back to her apartment on the Upper West Side. And, she'd see a little eye shine in the woods. And she would go over there and it would be a dog freezing, and
Mm,
she's going to, get the dog and she's going to care for it and find it a home. So she was quite a humanitarian, but anyway, she was so sassy and so spunky and full of life. And she retired a couple of years ago from her having her class, her regular class. She still did private coaching, but the last thing she wanted to be was dependent on anyone because she was fiercely independent. And she had been married to a very well known director for 20 something years, but she was 83, so she'd been divorced a long time and on her own. And she didn't want to be one of those women pushed around in the wheelchair you see on the streets of New York, very feeble and dependent on, their caretaker. She lived the way she wanted to live her life. She did everything she wanted to do, and she died the way she wanted to die. I mean, it was
mhm.
quick. So she's happy, and it helped to let her go because she was so ready. She was starting to slow down and have the aches and pains, and lung cancer got her. And she had been a smoker back in the day, and had
Mm.
quit, in her 50s. But yeah, so it's almost like this is what she wanted, and she went out the way she wanted to go out.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like how you're describing her, like, it sounds like she just had such an interesting story. I feel like a movie could be made about her
Oh,
life.
totally. Well, you've been to her apartment. You saw her apartment.
Yeah, I was there. I was there. So and it was cool. There was a lot of like I feel like a lot of cool stories all over. So
Yes. Yes,
yeah,
yes. She had this long silver mane. She was gorgeous and, just so talented and such a wonderful gifted actress and teacher. So, yeah.
that's
Gone but
amazing.
not forgotten, you know? She's just
Definitely.
away. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. And also another movie you got, Fast Charlie.
Wow.
Can we talk about Fast Charlie? Because that was
Yeah,
something. That was an exciting film to watch. And I don't want to give anything away because if everybody out there hasn't watched it, um,
right.
won't spoil, but like let's why should people watch Fast Charlie? Like, can you tell everyone a little bit about
What's
that
so
movie?
interesting is the men who have contacted me who have watched it. So, I mean, guys, I'm telling you, the thing is that men are loving it because it is a mobster movie, but women love it because it stars Pierce Brosnan, 007, right? Who was charming in a mobster movie. He would be
Yeah.
charming in anything, right? He's such a lovely man. But uh, the Australian director Philip Noyce, who I'm just totally obsessed with this guy. He is so brilliant, and he just threads the needle perfectly, and it's full of humor, and it's not like blood and guts. I mean,
Yeah.
it's funny. It's got a lot of really funny stuff in it. And then, of course, it's a little bit of a love story, not only with Pierce's love interest, who he did not expect, but with James Caan. It's the last movie that James Caan ever did, and it just makes it that much more special because his character Stan is like the elder. mobster, the boss, right? And some of the younger guys are trying to take him out, and Pierce kind of comes out of retirement, and he's not having it. He's wanting Stan to go out on his own. So, it's a love between those two men also. But it was just such an honor to work with James Caan, and I'm really proud and honored to have been in his last film.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I haven't watched like a ton of mobster movies. I wouldn't
yeah,
necessarily say that's my thing, but I really enjoyed this movie and like it had like a lot of elements to it. As you mentioned, there's the love story, there's the
mhm,
mob stuff, there's the friendship
yeah.
of Pierce Bronson and Stan. Like there's a lot of really like cool elements that all like kind of tied together and just some like really like cool moments. Like I don't want to give it away, but like there was something with the laundry chute. Like was
Wow.
that was awesome.
Was that
Like
intense?
that was intense. I've
Oh,
never
man,
seen
I
something
I
like that
met that
done.
guy. He's a wonderful actor. At the screening, there was a critic review screening in Los Angeles, the beginning of the month, and I went out for it, and I met him, and I was like, "You are so believable, Kai." I mean, you're just absolute incredible. There's some really, really great actors in that movie.
There are. It was really entertaining, and also as you said, like it's funny too, but it doesn't try to be funny.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
what are your thoughts on that? On like how this movie handled the tone? Because obviously, like people are getting killed, but they're also able to like crack jokes, and it doesn't feel forced. It's natural. Like, what are your thoughts on stories like that?
Yeah, I think that, well, number one, Australian director Philip Noyce, who directed Clear and Present Danger and Salt with Angelina Jolie and all kind of other fabulous movies. He is so experienced and is so generous. I'm telling you, because we shot this in New Orleans, and then they shot some in Mississippi. It's supposed to be set in Mississippi, right?
Mm,
And all of the southeastern and the local cast and crew were just hanging on every word this guy said, because he was like holding a master class, Drew. It was incredible. He was explaining why he would do things the way he would do them, and if he'd want me to try something, and and he would get in there with the actors, and it was like a collaboration. And usually, you don't have that, because they don't have that take that kind of time. Oh my gosh, just so in awe of Philip Noyce, and I'm gonna work with him again. I told him I was going to. So I he's just wonderful, and I think that that's why this movie has done so well. We had 100% right out of the gate on Rotten Tomatoes, so that's pretty
woo,
fresh, right? And
pretty
um,
fresh.
yeah,
Yeah.
deadline.com and Hollywood Reporter gave us great reviews, and then you've got Pierce, so it's almost like the perfect storm. You've got Philip Noyce, who is brilliant and has so much experience and knowledge and really knows what he's doing. Then you've got Pierce Brosnan, who is going to bring charm and his magic to what anything he does. And then you've got James Caan. And
Yeah.
what was interesting about James Caan is my first scene, we're at a birthday party celebrating Stan's birthday, right? And he is very feeble. I mean, this was right before he passed. He's in a wheelchair. He has a wonderful attendant with him. But I'm telling you, his acting was seamless. You didn't know when he was cutting up, just, shooting the breeze, or when he was in his character working and acting. It was
Mm,
seamless. And I just thought, God bless him. He was such an inspiration. He did what he loved doing and what he was so good at to the very end,
yeah.
and still had that humor and that charm. Oh, yeah. It was, those three, it was like,
Magic, magic. It
magic.
just comes together.
Yeah, yeah. And
Do
then
you
our female lead, Marina, I mean, she's just, everybody loves her, and she's gorgeous and brilliant. And yeah, yeah, it's done really well.
Yeah. What is that feeling like, like speaking of magic, like, when you're on set and like everything just seems to be clicking and like even though you're in it, like you're feeling like what like this is something really special. We got like do you have those moments where you really feel like that?
Well, when I was doing the big scene with Pierce, and I don't want to give any spoilers away, but it's pretty intense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt the magic. I did. I felt the magic in that moment, um, and I felt the magic just you know being around Philip and then Pierce and then James. You just felt like it was something special was happening, but then you just don't know. And I felt the same way with Mary Good Enough. It was just, it was that same old magic. And I wish that all projects could be that way, but they're not. So when you've had the ones that are not that way and you don't feel that magic, um, when you do feel that magic, you're like, yes, this is going to be good. This
Yeah.
is why I do this. This is why I go through all the auditions that I never get any feedback on and all the rejection that we have in this business is for those moments that are so magical and it just feeds my soul. It's definitely my passion.
I love that. And it makes sense. I mean, as much as you want everything to have that magic, I mean, you're a part of so many projects. Obviously, some things are going to be better than others. But
Mhm.
when something is maybe like when you're working on something that maybe doesn't have that like that spark or that magic, like how do you deal with a situation like that? Because obviously you have to do it, you have to make the best of it, and you still
Right.
want the product to be good. So
Right.
what's your mindset for that?
For me, it starts with the writing. If the writing is good, even if there's not like this great, fellowship and community among the cast or whatever, if the writing is good, excuse me, then you can make it work, right? So that's the key is the writing. Got to have good
Definitely.
writing.
And I mean, hearing you like talk about like writing and like you obviously are very appreciative of the crew and the people that put the work into it as well
Yeah,
as the actors. Um,
yeah,
what I don't we haven't really well we've talked like personally we've talked in private, but like I'd love to hear like your thoughts about like obviously the actor strike, the writer strike was a really
hmm,
tough time. Can you talk
yes,
about like what that was like for you? And also, did it have any? I know Mary Good Enough, you had filmed it already. Did it have an
yes.
impact on the
Yeah,
release?
even though we still were wearing masks and being tested, on a daily basis, it was fortunately it was post COVID. Yeah, it has been really tough. It has been um, a tough time for not only actors but for everybody, but the crew too. And then the strike was horrible,
Mm,
but it was necessary, right? But it was horrible. Yeah, I'm just so glad that it's over, and even though, there's still some concerns with AI, we it's a start. We've got to start, and at least I'm able to talk about these wonderful projects because, a few months ago, I could not. I wouldn't have been able to promote or, Pierce wouldn't have been able to do anything, and we weren't able to do any red carpet stuff. Um, so I'm just glad that it's over for now, and we're working back to work.
definitely. And for you, like, I mean, it is work, but it's also you said it's something like that you love to do. Like where is that balance for you? And like, acting being work, but also like fun.
Yeah. I think that's one reason I started my own production company back in 2014 is that number one, I was aging out of everything and getting tired of waiting for my agent to call. And, and I wanted to have a little bit more control over my career and my future and the projects that I was doing. So I think by doing my own projects and having that to almost keep the creativity going and have that creative outlet, which I've got to have. That has helped me a lot, and just thinking about future projects that I want to do or people that I want to work with, and it I think it's made me a better actor because it's not so much about, oh, I got to get this job, or oh, what do they think of me? And even though, I mean, I can still get caught up in some of that stuff, but really, it occupies my mind. So it keeps me out of trouble because it keeps me, thinking, rather than, feeling sorry for myself or comparing myself to other people, or, you know, all that kind of negative stuff that is not productive at all.
Mhm.
Keep
Yeah,
that at bay. Yeah.
definitely,
Stay
definitely.
positive, Drew. We
And
gotta we gotta stay positive and move forward.
oh, always, always, always. And you've taught me that. I mean, you've been so inspirational, like for me, like just
Oh,
like meeting you. I mean, we've known each other now for like over 4 years, which is crazy.
yeah.
So for those of you guys who don't know out there, like Susan, I met Susan back in 2019. Yeah, 2019. Like,
Yes.
whew,
Or at least 2019,
it was
yes. In
2019. It
New
was
York.
in New York before I
Yeah,
started
yeah,
Cobra Kai Kid. So
yeah.
yeah, yeah, and then we met up. Was it I think it was 2 years ago.
Was
Was
it
it?
2
Oh
years?
no, wait, no, wait, 2 times. Oh, I saw you 2 times since that.
Yeah, you came to my apartment at Zena's,
That was like 2 years ago, and then I think last
and then
year.
we met on the Upper West Side on the
Yeah.
street, remember? And
Yes.
then we went to lunch, and when I took you to that silly vegan restaurant that we thought would be hilarious because of the Johnny Lawrence thing, and it was like, "Okay, this is funny enough. Now let's go somewhere and get this kid a cheeseburger." Okay.
you you knew. I didn't even have to say anything. You're like, let's get
Right.
let's get you a cheeseburger. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That was fun though. That was
That
a lot of
was, it was
fun.
great. I'm so proud of you, Drew,
Oh,
for what you've done, and you have inspired me and countless others with your boldness and your creativity. It's just off the chart. I'm just like, remember me when, kid, okay? Remember me when.
oh, thank you, Susan. You're the best. And listen, you know what? We're talking about resolutions and goals. I have a goal, which is to write a great movie or story that Susan Gallagher would approve on and want to be a part of.
Oh my
That's my
gosh.
goal.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
But it would
Maybe
have
I'll
to
produce it, you
I
know?
would I wouldn't want you to do it just because I wrote it. I would want it to be something where you say, even if he didn't, even if I didn't know he wrote it and I just saw
Yes.
this script, this is a
Yes.
great thing. So that's the
Yeah.
goal.
Well, you know what? As long as you're open, Drew, just like, what Zena has taught me, I mean, some writers, their words are just so precious to them, and it's hard to grow if you're not open. So be open to suggestions, and to collaborate with other people. And you can grow and learn, and be produce and create things that you're going to be proud of. I
For
think when
sure.
we stop learning is the worst thing that we can do, and I don't care how old you are. You think, if I think I know it all, then I'm in big trouble. But as long as I know, and the older I get, the more I find out I don't know. So it takes a lot of pressure off when you can be open that way to learning and to growing and to new ideas and new ways. And I just love it. It's curious. Zena was big about playing detective, like with a
Mm,
role and a script or whatever. Let's play detective and see what little nuggets we can discover, and really look at it from a detective and inspector's kind of point of view, and approach it that way sometimes too, with your own backstory, or
mm.
I mean, you're good at this. What am I telling you? I'm not telling you anything.
No, no, I love that. That's like I think you're 100% right. And that I actually had a question for you, like, and it ties into that because as an actress, I think it's really interesting. Like, you're bringing this character to life,
Yeah,
and like obviously it's you at the end of the day, you're the one talking, you're the one portraying the emotions, but then you
right.
have a director who's directing you and like guiding you. So I'm curious, like, for you personally, where does the balance come in? Like, what is your preferred, like when you're working with a director, of like, what do you want from a director, and how do you try and balance that with like, let me kind of find the character myself but also taking their guidance?
Right. Well, I have been so fortunate to work with a lot of directors that are fabulous and I respect and I trust, like the big three and like Philip Noyce and some other guys, but Kate Herron on Loki. And I would basically probably do whatever they wanted me to do. But what I find helpful is, I come prepared. I come with my ideas, and then sometimes when they'll like go the opposite and have me do something completely unexpected, completely opposite of the way I've been doing it, I think that sometimes can be very magical.
Mhm.
To throw something. Dan Kennedy did that. Because there was a very, very heavy scene towards the end of Mary Good Enough. And I was emotional. I was crying. And we needed that. We needed it, a couple of takes where, I had the real tears and stuff. And then he said, "You know what?" He said, "Act like you're in an episode of The Big Bang and everything's funny and everything's cutting up and making jokes like Howard or whatever and laugh." And I did it that way.
Mhm.
Um, so I think having a director who will change it up is good. We got to get those safety ones that we need, but then let's really take a risk and see. Um, I don't know if you follow. Do you follow Stephen Bernstein?
I don't.
Oh, you should. He's a filmmaker and is so generous with his knowledge, and he is always teaching. He has this. I follow him on Instagram, and he's phenomenal with
Hmm.
what I have learned from him. And and he talks a lot about stuff like that, and um, I think you would really enjoy following him.
Oh, cool. I'll definitely check him out. Thank you
Oh,
for the recommendation.
yeah,
And I mean, it must be interesting for you because, like, even though you are an actress, working closely with a director and multiple directors, like, gives, like, you get a sense of like everyone's styles, and like, I mean, you probably have a really good idea of like what goes into directing, and like, how they work because you work so closely with them, right?
right. And as a matter of fact, I've been cast in another Christmas movie
A
called,
new one.
He'll Be Home for Christmas, and we're shooting in, New Bedford, Massachusetts in February and in March, and, I it's the same, director, creator as the Pickleball is Life series for the podcast that I was in last year, that comedy. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
So it's the same guy, and so, I'm gonna be in this deal, and he's asked me to direct an episode. He's doing 6 episodes, and he's trying to support female directors, and he knows of my background, and he wants me to direct one of his episodes, so it will be my directorial debut on
This is
He'll
your
Be Home.
first time directing?
Yes. I've kinda co-directed
Congratulations.
before my own stuff, but never really,
Oh my
worn
god.
those shoes, right?
Wow, wow. So now you're, but are you gonna be in it as well?
Yeah, yeah, there's 6 episodes, and I'm directing episode 2, and then my character, Helen, appears in 3, 4, 5, and 6. So, I'm gonna direct the one right before, I start working. So, I'm very
Okay.
excited about that. We Zoomed yesterday, and, it's he's just Seth Chitwood is his name, and he's wonderful, and I love him, and I'm very excited to be in another project of his.
Oh, that's awesome. We'll definitely have to talk after that. I want to hear about
Yes.
your. We'll have a full director's into Susan Gallagher director.
Homeless Lynn directing, right?
That'd be a fun parody. That'd be a fun
It
one.
would be. There you go. Oh
Yeah,
man.
I do want to talk to you. Speaking of Christmas movies, The Christmas Contract is another
Yeah.
movie that you were a part of. That was such a sweet movie. I love how every movie that we've discussed so far, all is just very different. Has its own tone, has its own style. This one now you have like the Christmas story with the love story and heartbreak and family, and there's a lot of like feel good elements to it. So, can you tell everybody about The Christmas Contract, what this movie is about, and your role in it?
Yes, a Christmas contract we shot in Lafayette, Louisiana, a few years ago, and it stars Hillary Burton from that series One Tree Hill. You may be too young to remember that,
Oh
but it was.
wait. I know One Tree Hill. Wait, was
You
that
do?
wait, Hillary?
Hillary
Wait.
Burton, yeah. And then the
Oh
her love
my god,
interest,
she's from One Tree
that's
Hill.
William, what's his name, Buckley or
Bro, I can't believe I didn't recognize her.
and
Was she
him.
He's
What's his
from One
name?
Tree
William Buckley?
he's from One Tree Hill too?
Yes, big time.
Did
What's
I
his
just
name? That's not his name. Nice guy.
I gotta
Yeah, tell me his name.
okay,
Somebody Buckley?
um it One Tree Hill was from so long ago, so I guess like they were Robert Buckley.
Robert Buckley. Robert
Wait,
Buckley.
is that's not Nathan from One Tree Hill?
I think it is. No, Nathan was he the dark-headed guy?
Yeah, wait. I
Yeah,
don't
because my daughter Caroline was in an episode with him in the scene with Nathan. So I remember
And
his name.
your daughter was in One Tree Hill?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, he was Clay Evans was in One Tree Hill. Wait, who was Clay
How many
Evans?
episodes? I mean,
Clay Evans, One Tree Hill. Oh, okay. He was what was he? The sports announcer, I think. That's pretty cool. Sports agent. He was a sports agent in One Tree Hill. So
sports agent.
they were
Okay.
both in one. Have you seen One Tree Hill?
I used to watch it when I would audition for it.
You
um,
auditioned for One Tree Hill too?
yeah, oh yeah. Yeah,
I
she
did.
booked it. I never booked it. It's like Army Wives. My daughter Caroline, she books Army Wives, and I bet I auditioned for that show 30 times. And they would say, "Well, you look too much like the leads, or you're too this, or you don't look that way," and blah blah blah.
Mm. Oh my god. Well, I did not know that. She looked familiar.
Yeah, she's married to Jeffrey Dean Morgan from The Walking Dead.
Wait, who does he play?
He is like one of the main guys in Walking Dead, and he was the big heart throb on Grey's Anatomy. That's how he became famous. What was his character's name? I don't know,
Oh,
but he like
Negan.
yeah, that's her husband in real life.
Oh, I see it right now. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. And also Cheryl Ladd. You probably don't know who that is. She was one of the original Charlie's Angels. She was like was she Farrah Fawcett's sister or something? Anyway, um, she's in it, and then Bruce Boxleitner, who's been around forever. He's in, and I play Cheryl Ladd's sidekick, and I play actually the mother of Hillary's character's ex-boyfriend.
Eesh.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's a wonderful family film, family movie, and it's something that children can see that I'm in, which is nice. And it's just a feel good. And the mayor of Lafayette, Louisiana, is actually the mayor in the movie.
Oh
And
my
we have this
god.
wonderful band that a lot of young people follow, and I cannot remember his name, but we dance to this band. You'll probably recognize him. And the mayor gave us all the cast members and the crew certificates as Cajun for a day because it's a very Cajun um, uh, little town in Louisiana, Lafayette. So, yeah, I've got that framed up
Oh,
downstairs in my house somewhere, occasion for the day.
that's so awesome.
And then a female director.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Monica Mitchell. So that's, it's nice I try to support females and, I love to see female directors and female filmmakers.
Well, she did a great job. Definitely
She did.
captured the movie in a great way.
I think so too. And that, it airs all the time. It's been airing for years. So, it just makes you so proud to be in something that people enjoy.
Yeah, definitely. Does because it's a holiday movie, it must be nice. Does it like, it came out in 2018, but does it get like brought up each year for
Yes.
the holidays, you find?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, it's really cool that like what is it about the holiday movies for you that because you've worked on a couple like including Mary Good Enough, Christmas Contract. What is it about those movies that draw you?
I don't know. I guess uh I don't know. You probably have a better feeling than I do. Maybe, it's a warmth or something that comes across, or I mean, I've always loved Christmas and family and that kind of thing. And um I don't know. I do love the holidays. I've always loved the holidays and it brings me a lot of joy, but it also brings me sadness. So maybe, that's why I could relate and so many people can relate to Mary Good Enough is that it is such a relatable story. So it wasn't hard for me to bring the joy, but then bring some struggles and some sadness because it is an emotional time for people. And um, yeah,
Yeah. And in the Christmas Contract, there is a scene, and you mentioned it, of dancing. You guys, are having a fun time. You guys are dancing. So I want to ask, like in real life, are you a dancer? Do you enjoy it? Like what was that scene like? Kind of dancing on film.
well, and I'd love to see what the your fans think. Please tell me. Um, it helps because number one, the band was really good, and I play Richie Montgomery's wife. He plays my husband, and I had known Richie. I'm trying to think what we had done something else together and I'd never played his wife before, but he's from Mississippi, and used to run into those guys when we would have live auditions in New Orleans because I kept an apartment in New Orleans back when I was doing Treme, and my daughter Caroline, she did the last movie before Hurricane Katrina hit, so we kept an apartment there. And Richie and I were good friends, and I think it helped because we were just going to have a good time and
Mhm.
we just dance well together. I'm not a professional dancer now. My oldest sister was, and she's fabulous. But I mean, I've got two moves. I mean, I used to do a thing on Film Friday on Instagram and Facebook where I do a little dance or whatever, and people just loved it. And then, I'm telling Caroline, my daughter, and Bo, my son, I was like, "Yeah, I got two moves." They're like, "Yeah, mom, that's we got to work on that. You got two moves, girl." That's it, Drew. I got my two moves, and that's about it.
It was good though. You looked like you were into it. It
Yeah.
was natural. It was fun. It
Good.
was
I'm so
good.
glad that you approve of my dancing.
I approve of the dancing. I think maybe, hey, Ralph Macchio, Martin Cove, Dancing with the Stars. Maybe you're next.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, give me 3 months to get in shape, right? Those guys are in shape, at least, Martin and Ralph both.
Did you see Marty on Dancing with the Stars?
I did, and, I thought it was cool in a way, but then, I mean, I've seen him. He's got a couple of moves too, but they didn't really, um, do, give him the opportunity. I thought to
Yeah.
show what he could do. So, but he's so fearless. Hey, he can do anything.
He's so awesome. I was just watching it. Like I just watch his interviews all the time. I was watching an interview of him yesterday. He's just a great guy. And
What
um
did you watch yesterday?
Just like an interview he did. Just a
Okay.
different interview. You know, he's done a bunch. Just hearing him talk, he's so cool, and I'm excited to talk to you. I mean, we'll do that another day.
Yes, and it's
Hint,
coming
hint,
soon.
coming soon for everyone out there. Hint,
Yeah.
hint. Marty Kove, Jesse Kove, and of course Susan Gallagher will join me to talk a taste of love.
Love.
Yes, I'm so excited for that. But
Yeah,
I
me
do
too.
yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. I do want to ask you. I do want to talk some Cobra Kai with you. I have a couple
I
Cobra
can't
Kai
believe we've been
questions.
talking this long. Has gone by so fast.
So
People are not
fast.
gonna wanna hear me talk this long.
Yes, they are. For everyone out there, you we know they're watching. We know they're watching.
Oh my gosh.
They'll
Oh
comment
my gosh, you
below.
guys. This
You're
is great.
loved. You're loved. So
Alright, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I
I'm
do
gonna
want
be
to ask
serious now.
you.
Okay.
Season 6 of Cobra Kai was announced as the final season,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah,
And this is a show that you started over 5 years ago. Like, you were in the very first episode. You were there from the jump. What's it like, for you personally, you know, now that this series that you've been a part of for all of these years is now coming to an end?
yeah. Um, I just feel so overwhelmed with gratitude. I'm just really overwhelmed with gratitude to have been part of something that is so special to so many people. And you fans have been the best ever. And I think it's because um, going back to Mr. Miyagi and, the values that we all took away from the Karate Kid movies and, honesty and, loyalty and all of those things that are so meaningful that our fan base are good people. I mean, they're just wonderful people. A lot of them are family people and hardworking, and then you've got the whole new younger audience with Cobra Kai, and I have loved engaging with the fans so much and meeting you. I wouldn't even know you, so it's been interesting for me because I like people. I'm a people person, and I mean, I would love to do Comic-Con someday and be able to engage more with fans. Who knows? Maybe in the future, because I've done a lot of different things, maybe something will really stick, and I can meet more of you guys.
Yeah, that would be so exciting. I hope you do that, and like you can bet, like I will definitely be there if it's wherever it is. I'll try and
Wherever it
make it
is,
out.
yeah.
I'll try and
Yeah,
make it
I mean,
out.
it's a bit bittersweet for, it's the last season, but I mean, the big 3, John Hurwitz, Josh Hield, and Paige Schlossberg are absolutely brilliant. I mean, you've got not one really talented guy and obviously good businessman. You have 3. So it's like the trifecta, and they're gonna go out on top. And, they obviously have other things that they would like to do, like obliterated, and no telling what else they have up their sleeves. But I'm just forever grateful to them for giving me a shot to play Homeless Lynn when I had to audition and submit myself because my agents would never have submitted me for a homeless woman, not in a million years. So I'm really grateful to those guys.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we're so grateful that you got the role, that you're part of this universe. It's
Aw,
amazing.
thank you so much.
Of course, and I know you can't confirm season 6 whether or not you're in it. I know we can't talk about that,
Well, you
but
should you should have didn't you just talk to one of them? Why didn't you ask them?
just
You probably know more than we know, Drew.
I mean, listen, Hayden and John, they do the Twitter Q&As, and they've posted, they're not afraid to kind of reveal some spoilers. So hey, maybe that'll be a question to ask, like, hey, is Susan Gallagher Homeless Lynn in season 6? I don't know
Right.
if they would answer it or not, though. We could try.
Try.
Why
Try.
not?
Why not?
Yeah. But I do want to ask you, if Homeless Lynn is in Cobra Kai season 6, which I think she will be, what would you want to see from her character in this final season? What would be a satisfying conclusion for you for this character that you started 5 years ago?
Yeah. It'd be like, Johnny, where you been? What, well, I'm hungry. I need a shower, dude. What the heck? I think she'd be giving Johnny Lawrence a hard time because he's had all this freaking drama. God, give me a break, dude. She'd be sassy with him and, you know, don't make me throw a shoe at you.
Oh my
I mean,
god.
she'll go pick up his pizza off the sidewalk and eat it. Lynn never misses a meal. So she's going to be like, you owe me. You owe me more than one burrito. You owe me numerous burritos. I want pizza. I want burrito. I want fritters. And I want soup and beans. And when I'll have a case of your Coors Banquet, Allie.
Oh my god, I love this. It's like
Hilarious.
hearing you quote these lines is so surreal.
And you know what? Those lines are so funny.
Yeah.
I just love that. Finish up and then beat it. This
This
is
is my
my
mart.
mart.
You ain't
You ain't
hustling.
hustling no coin at my mart.
I'm not hustling. I'm not homeless. That's my car.
My car.
Oh, it's so
You know
great.
what? In I think in the audition, that is the scene that I auditioned for. But there was another line, and they had me go, "You got $1?" After he said, "That's my car," I look and I'm like, "Oh, then you got $1?"
That-
Isn't that crazy?
Did he give it to you or no?
Well, hey, listen, when she's standing out there on the street holding that dumb sign of his, and she says, "Well, I want meth and a burrito," she got her burrito, didn't she?
She did. She
She
did get
sure
that
enough
burrito.
did. So he paid her. Because I've had
Right.
people say, "Did he ever pay you?" Yeah, he paid me, and I'm sitting up there. I stole his sign, used it as a little roof of my house.
That was funny. Oh my god, it's brilliant. I have an idea for, I mean, listen, I'm not a Cobra Kai writer. They'll probably come up with something better. But I do want to pitch to you just an idea of how they could end Homeless Lynn's story in just like a satisfying way. Cause I feel for the final season, there needs to be bows tied everywhere. You know, I
Yes.
feel like things need to conclude. And, in seasons 1, 2, 3, 4, like we got funny scenes with Homeless Lynn, but
Right.
I think with season 6, the last time we see Homeless Lynn, I don't think it should just be a funny thing and then that's it. We never see her again. I think it
Okay.
would, even if it were just like a little like, Cobra Kai is all these moments about lessons and,
Yes.
different like moments and heartfelt moments. And even if it was just like a little heartfelt moment between Johnny and Homeless Lynn, because they've
Yeah.
been together since the beginning and it's been all this
Yeah.
bickering and, jokes and conflict. I feel like it would be a really like, it could just be one line, it could be a conversation, but just something where Homeless Lynn is like nice to Johnny and kind of maybe like says, you know what, you're not so bad after all, or like just something kind of like heartfelt in a, even if it has that comedy, something a little heartfelt that feels like that's a good way to wrap up that story. Does that make
You know what?
sense?
So many people agree with you. I mean, maybe the big three will listen, maybe they won't, but so many people have said, "Who is your character? She's got to be somebody," and they're going to reveal it in season 6. And I
Joey
have
Pierce.
heard theories about, that John Kreese and she really know each other from the homeless shelter, and that they're going to have a little thing, and Kreese is going to help her. And of course, I've heard a million people say that Johnny is going to help her, or that she's some kind of, angel that Johnny's mother sent to look after him. And at the very last scene of season 6, he's going to be sharing beer and pizza with Lynn, and they're going to be sitting on the curb in front of Cobra Kai, and it's
I
going
love
to
that.
end. I
I
know.
oh, you know it'd be funny too? Like, if, like, all of a sudden you just came out and you were not Homeless Lynn, like, you were dressed like normal hair, like,
Yeah.
makeup, and then, like, Johnny's like, "Hey, like, who are you?" And it's like, "It's me, Homeless Lynn." And it's like,
Yeah.
"What?"
I know. I've had people say that too. They've got to see what you really look like. Johnny's got to see what you really look like.
Johnny might be like, "Peace, Carmen." You never know.
She's an oracle, right?
Yeah, like, I've I I have a, it's like, when you really think about it, Lynn kind of sees it all. She's
Yeah.
sitting right outside the dojo. She sees all this crap happening all around, all this crazy stuff. She knows everything. She's
Yes.
got to.
Yes.
They got to
I
dive into
thought, I've had people say this, that they thought it would have been so cool if Lynn helped Crease in some way, because she knew what really happened to Stingray.
that.
She knew how all
Ooh,
that went down.
yeah.
I mean, people talk, they have a lot of really interesting theories about Lynn. I'm just glad they talk about her and think about her, right?
Yeah, it'll be exciting. I think season 6, I think it'll be back, and I think they'll do something cool. I'm hoping, I'm excited, whatever it is, it should be a
And
lot
well,
of fun.
I trust the guys that, they'll take care of Lynn or me, and I mean, whatever they could come up with is gonna be 100 times better than what any of us could come up with, because they shock us so much. You think
They're
it's gonna go
great.
one way, and then, they flip it. Talk about, throwing in, an opposite, or, they're the kings of that, buddy. They will, have you going along this way, and then bam! It's like, "Whoa, I didn't see that coming," but it's the coolest thing ever.
They're geniuses. They're the
They
big 3.
are. They are. They are so talented.
Yeah. Well, Susan, I want to thank you so, so much for joining me today, for doing this interview. Like, this was a total blast. We got to speak about, like, all your projects, Cobra Kai, Fast Charlie, Mary Good Enough, Christmas Contract, and you also have some other projects coming out too, which is really exciting. Before we wrap up, can you just tease everybody, like, what do you have coming out, and, like, what is next for you? Where can they what should they look out for?
Right. Well, we've got Mary Good Enough that's airing now. We've got the Christmas Contract airing now, and we have Fast Charlie airing now. So everybody, please watch those. I promise you won't regret it. I'm very proud of those projects. And then be looking, because A Taste of Love is going to be coming, and it's going to be great with me playing Martin Cove's wife, and Jesse Cove is Aaron Cahill's love interest in A Taste of Love. So I think the fans are just going to go crazy and have the best time with that. It was so much fun to work with Marty and with Jesse, and for Homeless Lynn and John Kreese to be married, and they're this lovely, very happy couple, in this beautiful Hallmark movie. And the backdrop is Dunedin, Florida. So the beaches of Florida, and the cinematography of Mike Mays is just absolutely beautiful, and the music's great. So I am so excited to finally be able to announce soon when it's going to air, and hopefully Marty and Jesse and I can get together and be on your show and talk about that, and that's a blast. And then he'll be home for the holidays. I'm shooting that and having my directorial debut in February and beginning of March. And then I've been cast in a movie based on a true story about a woman with dementia. It's called
Mm.
Rain, Rain Went Away. And it's just touched my heart. And I'm really looking forward to that. And I had actually booked two other projects prior to the strike. So we're hoping to get those up and going. So please follow me. And then, of course, follow my own production company's movie, the Lifetime type movie that Cullen Douglas and I are doing. And I think you're going to love that. The cast is phenomenal, and we're moving forward with that. So it's going to be a great year. And I'm just grateful to everybody for their support and their love, and grateful for you, Drew. And I'm so proud of you. And let's just keep going and stay positive and stay open, right?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much, Susan. Really, really means a lot. And I'm really excited to see all of your other projects. And for everyone out there, if you want to follow Susan, I'll leave links in the description for her social medias, and also to check out Fast Charlie, Mary Good Enough, Christmas Contract, and obviously you all have seen Cobra Kai. So thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next time. And until then,
Cobra Kai never dies.
never thought I would hear Homeless Lynn say that, but that was awesome.
You taking me home with you, baby? Wow.
You wish.